Hey, good morning, Warhawks. This is Colonel Wilson, Chief Blaze, back with you again for Freeform Friday, episode number 20. Hard to believe it's been 20 episodes, Chief. Time flies. So this will be the first Freeform we've done in, I think, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and the first Freeform they're going to have been able to hear in like over a month.
Yeah, we owe the world an apology. That was my idea. Sorry.
No fault. We ended up trying to do our last Freeform in front of the Christmas tree, and it didn't work out so well. So our apologies to everybody that tuned into that one. I know it came in very muffled, but nonetheless, we're back. We're back, episode 20. So while this is a monumental episode 20, it's also Chief Blaze's last episode as we say farewell to Chief as he heads off to the Pentagon to become the Chief of Enlisted Force Development. Pretty cool, working for the Chief Master of the Air Force and the A1D, Mr. Fraz. Be great, Chief. We just wanted to say, how much we've appreciated your and Jen's support over the last year and a half. You've been a wonderful wingman for me over the last 6 months, and I just feel blessed to have had the opportunity to work with you. I only hope that we'll get the chance to work together again. Jen has really worked some serious programs. She's been a Key Spouse Mentor. She's worked the Balance program for resilience for our children. She's worked on getting RTA training, resilience training for our spouses. She's just really been an invaluable member of our team as well. So we're going to miss you guys. We know you're going off to do great things. I always say the sign of any healthy organization is an organization that allows its talent to go out and do other things to expand and grow themselves in other ways. And so that's certainly the case here. So any memories you want to share from your last year and a half as a Warhawk chief, and anything that you remember specifically?
Yeah, I mean, it's been certainly action-packed 18 months, I'll say that. So first off, you talked about Jen, so I just want to be able to say thank you. I know she's watching from home. She's probably got Luna and Stella right next to our two amazing puppies, but honey, you've been amazing this whole time. There's no way I would be able to do anything without your love and support. So if anybody can give a shout out online to my spouse, I'll tell you what, it's our families are the ones that form the foundation of anything that we do as service members, and you've just always been my rock, so I love you, babe. I will say that a lot of the memories, we've had a lot of big events. I don't think it's necessarily been defined by COVID. I think it's been defined by the character of our Warhawks and how they've responded to everything that's come their way. There's just so many incidents where we would have a thing that happened where we had to just make a tough call. They just continue to persevere. I will say there's a lot of memories, but yesterday at the BMT graduation is just so vivid in my mind. A lot of things going on kind of in the nation this week. I think we've continued to kind of pulled our heartstrings a little bit. But when the oath was being recited, when you see one generation building the next, right? And you just see, when Lee Greenwood's song is crying out, "I'm proud to be an American," and it's just, there's a certain beauty that goes on there. So and knowing that's my last one that I'm going to take in as the command chief of this team, I just hold it dear forever, right? I would just hold it dear forever. Extremely proud of every member of our team. I just want to be able to say thanks, if I could, real quick, sir. To our Warhawks, to whether you are an MTI, an MTL, a tech school instructor, if you work at DLI, IAFA, wherever you may work, support staff, faculty development. I'll tell you what, the men and women of this organization, there's just something truly, truly special about it. I just want to be able to say thank you for what you did to enable this team's success in the time that I've been here. It's truly been a joy in my career. I want to be able to also say, sir, to our trainees and our students, I think they don't get enough credit too. They have been asked to step up and serve as service members, almost like a deployment atmosphere. They haven't been able to see their family as soon as they want, but they were part of our family, and they leaned into that, and I think there's beauty at. And then also I would say is to our family members, I talked about my wife, but all the family members that are tuning in, whether on right now or they've been a part of this experience the whole time and supporting their loved ones while we serve and try to be the sword and shield of freedom. I just want to be able to say thank all of you. It's truly been there's going to be a huge photo album when you talk about the rocking chair test, sir. When I sit back and I look back at the time in the 37th Training Wing, there's a lot of stuff in that book, and I just want to be able to say thank you all for letting me be part of it.
Nice. Yeah, you're going to be missed. You touched on a couple of things there. I love the note of positivity. There's a lot of things in this world to be negative about right now, and we just can't let that get us down. We've got a mission to do, and there's so many positive things that are happening here in 37 training wing with the Warhawks, that we just need to focus on that. And as long as we do that, things are going to be okay.
Yes, sir.
Things are going to be okay. So, hey, I just also wanted to highlight the fact that we're having a farewell for Chief Blaze for the wing. There's invites have been sent out, or will be sent out if they haven't already. It's for tomorrow. I believe it's at 1500 to farewell you and Jen. I know you'll have a big group. It'll be a mostly virtual event, but we'll have some groups phase come in and make presentations and say goodbye. So, hey, I also wanted to highlight yesterday that we had a key spouse forum where we had from every unit here on base all the way down to the squadron. We had every key spouse that was available participate, and there were dozens and dozens of key spouses. And when Jen got to talk about her programs, you could just see her light up. And every one of the key spouses just raved about how awesome it was to get together and hear and learn and share all their experiences. And when Jen started talking about RTA training and bounce, I know that there were a lot of key spouses out there. So her legacy there will continue on and continue forward, I know, in the programs that she's been working so hard that you guys have as a team. So, and then we did a nice little, we gave Jen a round of applause from all the key spouses. So I know she appreciated it, just as we appreciate her. So with that, unfortunately, we say goodbye, but we also say hello, and we say welcome. Chief Butcher, who is our superintendent for DLI, is coming over, and he'll be filling in for Chief Blaze for an indefinite period of time. But we have hired a new command chief, Chief Mike Morgan, the 42nd Air Base Wing, who's the command chief out there now, working for Colonel Aries Menser. Is going to be coming in here. We are super blessed to have Chief Morgan. I'll tell you, I had a nice list of candidates, Chief. It was tough. It was gut-wrenching. It took me weeks to decide, but at the end of the day, I just couldn't ignore the leadership, the communication skills, and the background in working at Air University within the Air Education and Training Command portfolio. I couldn't ignore those things. So we are currently working with Chief Morgan to determine a timeline, but I know everybody in our Warhawk Nation will welcome him with open arms as well. All right.
That's a great hire, sir. Absolutely.
Yeah. So we got a few things going on right now. Next week, our wing is going to go through a unit effectiveness inspection. Air Education Training Command Inspector General's Office, led by Colonel Corey Christopher, is coming, who will be the team chief for the inspection, will be coming in, and we'll be taking a look at our programs. We've had a lot of conversations with leadership, but I want to communicate with all the Warhawks. Open up your selves, open up your programs, open kimono to the team. That's the best way forward. Answer the questions to the best of your ability. If you can't answer or you don't know, that's okay. But we will do well. I 100% guarantee it. This wing is too solid. It's too sharp. The innovations that we've made over the last 6 months, not to mention over the last 2 years within the UEI evaluation cycle, are all going to come through, and so we're highly confident. So we welcome 30 members from the ATC IG inspection team that will be here in the wing next week, but there'll also be a number of virtual discussions and virtual inspections that will be taking place at the same time. But I just want to say thanks to the Warhawks. You know, the UEI, the inspection cycle, we don't prep for the capstone event at the end of the 2-year cycle, but the reality is anytime you have an inspection team coming onto your installation for a week, there's going to be a little bit of work, and there's going to be a little bit of time that's put into that effort, and we put a lot of time and energy into it. And so, but I tell you, I see the IG team as partners here. 100% they are partners. The days of old where you'd have the white glove, black hat inspection, those days are gone. They're here to help us identify areas where we need to improve, and that's all good. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, if I could just add on to that, sir, just like we've talked about, just encourage everybody, just share your story. You know, share your experience, share the things you've been working on, maybe the things that you still think we can continue to get to. You know, it's not necessarily about defending that we're great. It's really more about we're a learning organization. We're always looking to improve, and that's what we'll do in this case is we'll reflect things. We'll write down the things we documented we get right, and we'll see some areas maybe we can get even better at that. So I just ask you to continue to just share your story so that can get accomplished.
Yeah, we talk about the Commander's Inspection Program, CCIP, all the time, right? And what's the first thing that your mind can go to when you think about that? It's McT. It's the computer, it's the system, but that's not what the Commander's Inspection Program is about. It's about the commander, his command team, it's about the values of that organization, it's about what's important to them, it's about their priorities. It's about communicating who you are as an organization and what you value. And if you do that, and you do that with the team and the IG, we're going to be just fine. So look forward to that. The other thing that's going on is we have Joint Base San Antonio, under the leadership of the Installation Commander, the 502nd Air Base Wing, has been identified as one of 2 finalists for the Commander-in-Chief's Installation Excellence Award. The Installation Excellence Selection Board will be taking place next week, in which the evaluators of the final 2 installations will take a look. In this case, it will be virtually because we're operating in a pandemic, but we will be a big part of that with numerous touch points starting on Monday morning. So we're excited to be a part of that and show off all the innovative things we've done, not only in COVID, but just in general, and all the great things we have going on around our wing. So we're going to be meeting. We're going to be meeting here in a few minutes to talk a little bit more about that, but we're excited for that opportunity as well. So also we had some good news this morning. The Vern Orr Award. You've heard of the Vern Orr Award. Absolutely. I think most of us have heard of the Vern Orr Award. For a unit to receive the Vern Orr Award is a major honor and a major distinction. And I actually had to look it up. You know, it's one of those, well, it's just it means you're a great unit, right? But I looked it up, and what it really is around the use of your human resources, your people, and the most effective use of your people. And so yesterday, the announcement came out of Headquarters Air Education and Training Command that our own 737th Training Group, Basic Military Training, has been awarded and recognized for the Vern Orr Award as Air Education and Training Command's 2020 recipient. So congratulations to BMT. No surprise. All our groups are amazing, but what they've done to keep our training pipeline open, to deliver civilians that then become airmen to our tech training, that then goes on to become part of our operational Air Force, has been nothing short of amazing. So our praise goes out to them. We will celebrate that. I think Colonel Newsom has announced that now to his group, but if not, they're seeing it here again on Freeform Friday. And we'll talk about it a little bit more next week. So,
and I hope a lot of people across the wing take a part in that success too, because it really has been all hands on deck to keep those missions going.
No doubt.
And pipelines going, right? So there hasn't been a group in the wing that hasn't had a hand in their success.
Yeah, and they know how.
Just being great teammates.
And they know how because they've had to dedicate manpower to help support some of our quarantine procedures and operations. So congrats to everybody as part of that. Some other good news came out yesterday. We learned that our military training instructors, that our volunteers, will be receiving the vaccine beginning next week. So that is a pretty big deal. The Department of Defense and our nation as a whole has been going through a prioritization process based on supply and demand, massive amount of demand, very limited amount of supply. So that's great news. We have a list of volunteers for our MTIs that have volunteered to receive the vaccine. I would just encourage those to continue to consider that as next week approaches and you have the opportunity to take that vaccine. We understand why there would be some concerns. It's a new vaccine. It's gone through clinical trials over the last 6 months, and it's being pushed into the market. But we also believe it's safe. We also believe and know statistically that it's effective. So we encourage you to do it, but there's not going to be any heavy-handed approach to say, MTIs, go get your vaccinations. That is not what we're doing here. We're just simply saying, hey, one last opportunity, consider it, because that process will start next week. So good news on that front. And thanks to our partners in the 59th Medical Wing for advocating on our behalf. And thank you so much for the 59th Medical Wing for being there next week to help administer that in a safe and effective manner. And then finally, I think we are at Q&A. Do we have any questions that have come in while we've been on?
Yes, sir. So the only one was similar to the vaccine and was curious if that was going to be mandated, but I feel you kind of answered that it's not.
Yeah, no, it's not. There's no mandating at this point in time, so it's strictly a volunteer process. But I would say I am confident that as time goes on and our folks or anybody sees others get vaccinated, they'll build more of a confidence level. Anything that's new is always going to have some uncertainty that's associated with it, and that's natural. That's human nature. And again, we're not going to push it on anybody, but those that do want it know that the statistics and the data is out there that any one of the 3 vaccines that have been approved through emergency use are all about 95% effective. That's defined as 95% of the time that you would be exposed to the virus, you would not contract it. Your body would fight that. So anyway. That is certainly out of my comfort zone in talking about, but what I can say is that no, it definitively is not mandated. But it's encouraged. It is encouraged.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, this is episode 20. As everybody knows, because there's a long history with the Gateway Wing and the Crossroads. But each one numerically off, and the Roman numerals is 10, and this is episode 20. So we're going to go ahead and say we are out. Warhawks trained to win.